Hello and welcome to the first edition of our new webinar series, Top 10 Marketing Trends. In this edition today, we cover some strategies and marketing trends that apply to the whole world, but especially some of those strategies only apply to Vietnam and all the advertisers here in this beautiful country. My name is Oliver Wilkie. I'm the Director Agency Sales of SAI Digital, and I've been around the block for quite some time. I've been working in advertising for more than 10 years, active in Asia for more than 7 years, and being a resident of Vietnam for more than 3 years. Honestly, I didn't want to address the Corona topic, but it is what it is, and it has changed our way of living. There are good and bad examples how companies survived this pandemic. Some thrived and some actually suffered. But what happens definitely is that people made up their minds about new strategies and how to approach the markets and how to approach their audiences in those difficult times and even after. Today we're going to have a close look of how people can advertise in Vietnam and reach the right audiences with the right messages and the right channels at the right time. A few words about SAI Digital. We are a global company currently based over 4 continents with 8 offices. We have more than 200 experts and 60 active projects currently. And you can consider us as a full-service e-commerce digital agency. Means we are covering the technology sides by implementing very complex e-commerce systems, but also the advertising and marketing sides, as we have an internal advertising and customer experience management team that runs very successful campaigns for different clients all over the world. In terms of digital marketing, we actually have 4 pillars here. Everything is based around performance advertising. So our task is to deliver measurable and good results based on omni-channel or multi-channel marketing campaigns. Hand in hand with those performance advertising campaigns, we also deliver content marketing strategies with highly creative content for clients in all verticals. Strategies how to position your brand, or how to position also your new products in the market. And obviously creative design, starting from landing pages to websites, creating infographics and different kinds of display banners. Now, the biggest challenge in today's world is the vast amount of possible advertising possibilities that you have. So back in the days, in the 80s, it was very easy to spend your monies on marketing. There was only TV, cinema, radio, a newspaper and billboards. So at this point of time, you had the chance to choose between 5 different channels. There are countless channels of today, even in bigger environments. You have social media, you have display advertising, you have search advertising, etc., etc. Our task at SAI Digital is actually to find the right combination of channels that suit your goal. So if your goal is lead generation, sales, brand awareness, we're going to help you find the right way through this vast jungle of services and offer you the perfect performance for your campaign. The first topic I want to cover today is live commerce. If you're a resident of China or Thailand, you might have stumbled already upon this new channel. Also, you find it sometimes on e-commerce channels or even on Facebook. Today, I would like to introduce you to Live Commerce 2.0. What is live commerce actually? So the official definition is a channel that combines streaming video and e-commerce at the same time. So actually what you can do here is you can promote your business via an influencer or via somebody in your company, but at the same time also you can sell your goods directly out of this stream. Looking back in time actually, so where did this idea come from? So back in the 2000s there was a big trend of home shopping on TV, as you can see on the video on the right side. Mostly at those times consumer goods, home appliances and travel and vacations were advertised. But at the end of the day, you were sitting in front of your TV, and just in case you wanted to grab the offer that was displayed on your TV, you had to take your phone, make a phone call, and do all the steps in order to get that delivery. Now, a couple of years later, live streaming came into play, and obviously it was used heavily on social media for professional use, but also for private use. People could connect to their audiences in real time, talk about their lives, but also sometimes advertise actually a product. However, there was no interaction possible besides of maybe commenting, but you couldn't actually do and finalize a purchase during the live stream. Now, live commerce actually is a combination of home shopping and live streaming, as you can see here on those 4 examples. So first example is that a advertiser or an influencer actually shows the product on his stream. So it's a live stream, people can still communicate, the influencer or the advertiser can show the product, in this case it's a dress. But now in point number 3 comes the moneymaker. So during this live stream or live commerce presentation, as an advertiser, I can actually run promotions in real time, in the stream, in the app that I'm using, and people actually can buy directly out of the app. They just have to do 1 click. They don't have to change, go to the website, they don't have to take their phone. Actually, it's very user-friendly. With 1 click, I can already purchase the product that has been advertised in this live commerce stream. And actually also I finalize even my purchase during this session. So it's a very perfect situation here for me as a consumer to look, listen and purchase at the same time. Now, a couple of advertisers have already picked up this kind of new advertising channel. As you can see here with Shiseido, Casio and L'Oreal, who all feature their products in a kind of live commerce environment. Now, looking a little bit in the future, so what could be coming up or what actually is coming up and what verticals could be relevant for live stream? So looking at hospitality, travel, hotel, airlines, the example on the left side is that you can have an influencer or you can actually have somebody from your property go through all the hotel, check the rooms and also show the amenities like pool and bar, and at the same time offer promotions. For example, here a sea-facing room that might only be available during that live stream. So by showing the product, showing the room, showing everything, and showing the product promotion at the same time, I actually can create kind of an urgency, and people might be tempted to click directly and book their next vacation based on that. Even the automotive industry has picked up on live commerce. It's more about, let's say, support, spare parts, accessories for the car. But as you can see on the right side of this example, it's already been done in China especially, and also now slowly but surely entering the APAC market. So at the end of the day, what are the benefits of running a live commerce campaign? So obviously there's a high level of interaction because still people can comment, they give their likes, etc. But also I'm actually piquing the interest of potential buyers here because I'm inviting people to that live commerce session. I'm creating my own audience, and obviously there's a high intent of purchasing or at least getting informed about a product. Instant sales should be the keyword here. I don't have to wait on the result of my live commerce presentation. I'm generating instant sales, and the better I present, the more sales I get interactively during this. And with this, actually, I'm also increasing my marketing return on investment. And the good thing for the user is that there is a feeling of live shopping and a feeling of I can get directly what I want right now for a good price. Now, what is the checklist of running a live commerce session on your own website? So the first goal or KPI should be, don't run it on Facebook, don't run it on an e-commerce website, run it on your own website. Because here you're also getting more traffic, more awareness. People also might be actually tempted to browse through your website after the session. So first of all, you have to find the right technology to implement on your website in order to run the live commerce. Find a good product or find a good product range and think about a good promotion that might only be applicable during this live commerce session. It's always good to have a key opinion leader, an influencer, your CEO or a famous person talk about your products. And on the other side, before make sure that you generate enough traffic to your live commerce session, target the right audience based on your product selection, and don't forget to put a strong call to action like buy now, get it now, register now, contact us now, and all the time during that session in order to get the maximum KPIs and maximum benefits for this live commerce strategy. The next topic I would like to introduce to you is voice search, and obviously voice search has been on the market already for quite a while. And we are actually already performing voice searches on our mobile devices on a daily basis, so mostly on smartphones or on small web-enabled devices. We're asking Siri, where can I find, etc., etc. Now, the history of voice search started actually with a company that is, I think, not on the market anymore. BlackBerry invented in 2008 voice search for its Pearl version, for its mobile phone. YouTube picked it up in 2010 with a very nice feature that enables hearing impaired people to enjoy English-speaking content. After that, Google released a version in order to compete with Apple's Siri voice assistant. And in 2016, so 5 years ago, already 20% of the population actually used voice search for their queries for their daily activities. Now, why do I have to connect voice search to my marketing strategy? So first of all, the evolution of the technology. Nowadays, actually, devices can really understand what you say. So in a matter of years, actually, I'm expecting that we're not typing anymore, that there will be some kind of other interaction with the devices, mainly on voice. Why is that? Because we're getting more and more lazy. Technology makes it easy for us to get every information, so the less we have to use manual work, the better for us. So it's the evolution of behavior. But also Google has actually searched from a search engine to an answer engine. So nowadays I can get an answer to every question almost instantly. And that means that also a quarter of the world's population actually is using now voice search for any kind of queries. And as a marketeer, obviously, I have to benefit from that. I have to actually use my search for my SEO or SEM strategy based on voice search and not on type search anymore. So how can I optimize my PPC campaign for voice search? So first, it's all about the keyword. So obviously when I type, I keep it short. I'm asking something like plumber near me. However, in a voice search environment, I will say a sentence like, okay, Google, find me a highly rated plumber in San Francisco or anywhere in the world. So it's a different kind of, I would say, length and also different kind of keywords that have to be taken into consideration. Also, it's more about questions that have been asked or questions that are being asked. So what options are available, where can I find something, etc., etc. So I have to actually now create new ad groups where I can bid on the top volumes of voice searches. So the words have changed, the keywords have changed, everything became longer. But also now I have to make sure that actually my landing pages are, or my answers are completely relevant based on the questions before. So you have to go yourself through the whole journey about question and answers. And at one point you will come to the conclusion that voice search is a highly local thing. So actually I'm always looking for something that is around me. I'm looking for something that is in my city. So the local intent is very high. So that means also that keywords like near me, open now, local, find me, around me are now much more relevant. And especially here, you have the chance right now to bid on those keywords in combination with your product. And actually you have a very good chance of being shown or getting the bid and winning the bid on those keywords. So don't forget that voice search actually is very different to type search because people who search via voice speak in a very natural way. So you should anticipate actually their search questions, but also already be sure that you have the right answers in your ad copy, in your ad extensions, and also on the landing page. Because it's highly important that the people find as well what they're looking for in type search and in voice search. So optimizing and actually customizing the landing pages that you're utilizing is super important nowadays, because we all live in a hyper-targeted landscape, because we're always looking for something that is around us. And also, obviously, I'm expecting the right answer in terms of a landing page, based on the question that I posed before. And also don't forget that Google loves it when your whole campaign goes hand in hand. Google will reward you by putting you up in the ranking after a certain period of time. So the ad and the landing page and everything has to go hand in hand in order to get the best quality score. Now, how to optimize my content for voice search. So it's definitely a focus on long-tail keywords, because we're speaking more than we're writing, and also optimizing towards the natural language, phrases and questions of your country in your language. Please keep in mind that you might have to also consider slangs and accents, etc., etc. If you have a local business, it's essential to use voice search, especially in combination with near me, where can I find, etc. So location-based search queries. And also, and that is for every advertiser important, know where your audience is in the buying stage. Are they looking around? Are they considering? Do they have a high intent of actually getting something? So all those things should be considered for you in order to create the perfect voice campaign. A very interesting topic is the CGI Influencer Marketing Strategy. So we all know KOLs or influencers. Now there's an alternative. There are so-called CGI influencers who are actually digitally created avatars who look exactly like real-time people. They might replace the traditional influencer because of their easy access, and as an advertiser, you have complete control about this influencer. Nothing can go wrong. They will present the content as you wish, and I will show you in the next couple of minutes how realistic it looks like. But first of all, let's have a look back of the evolution of so-called influencer marketing. It started already back in the 20s with Santa Claus. So we all think that Santa Claus is kind of a historic figure, but actually Santa Claus really was invented by Coca-Cola. There was something similar before called Niklaus. Coca-Cola actually used Santa Claus as their main influencer for their soft drink, which you can also see in the matching colors of Coca-Cola and Santa Claus's outfit. Now, later in the 50s, 60s, 70s, actually those icons like Santa Claus were replaced by, let's say, celebrities, Hollywood stars, etc., who sold their name actually and their publicity to a brand, and started to attract buyers by just holding the product and talking into the camera to the end consumer. Now today we have so many kind of influencers available due to the power of social media. Everybody can be an influencer. Everybody can maybe make some money with that as long as they have enough followers. So at the end of the day, it has changed from, let's say, people-centered marketing to value-centered marketing. We all know how influencer marketing works. You hire a KOL, they talk about your brand, and they will get some rewards, monetary or maybe in some other form. Now, here's an example of a celebrity in 1932. Actually, a woman at this time promotes a cigarette brand called Lucky Strike. This campaign was a mass marketing campaign, a brand awareness campaign for cigarettes. They chose this Hispanic woman actually in order to target also these kind of audiences here. And believe me or not, at this time, people didn't get paid for that because they were Hollywood stars and they just made that on the side to promote their upcoming movie, etc., etc. Now, a good example of a very strong influencer back in the 80s obviously was the combination of Nike and Michael Jordan. I would just like to say one thing, because currently influencers are often taken for one-off. Means I have one product, I hand it to the influencer, he makes one post, and that's it. So just imagine in 1985 when Jordan signed with Nike, if he had made a one-off and then went with Adidas or Reebok, that would have been a big loss for Nike. So at this time it was all about consistency, etc. And even today, even though Michael Jordan is not active today anymore, they're still working together, getting good results. So here it was all about a brand personality fit together at the right time with the right product to the right audience, which you can see on the right side. The right audience for Air Jordans at that time, which is the basketball shoe, obviously were colored people, mostly male, between 15 and 35, with a high school education, so being affluent to a certain extent, etc., etc. So it looks like kind of a brief that we are getting today as well. However, today with influencers that are not connected to a brand, there can be lots of problems. So we actually found a lot of negative highlights here. We chose the Kim Kardashian dicleges problem. Kim Kardashian actually promoted this morning sickness pill via different posts, and I think she has a couple of million followers, so millions of women read that post, but she forgot actually that there are side effects to that pill. Those side effects can have very bad reactions, and after a while, the advertiser found out that her post was not correct. Many people got sick, maybe, or I don't know if people died, but many people got sick after that due to the misinformation from advertiser to influencer. And after a couple of more days, actually, Kim Kardashian posted a statement about the side effects and about how sorry she is about the misinformation. Just imagine what could happen here. Just imagine the backlash for the advertiser. Just imagine the backlash also for the influencer. So it's all about actually communication. And the problem here is that brand doesn't control influencer. That brand uses any influencer who actually doesn't care about the product too much, just in order to get some, let's say, cheap recognition here. So how can we prevent that besides getting a better brief to the influencer? IKEA actually made a tremendous step here with creating Imma. So they used this virtual model Imma, who looks exactly like a person, to showcase how she can live for 72 hours in Tokyo, small residence, maybe 25 square meters, which is fitted out with IKEA furniture. So, and this looks a little bit like that. So this is Imma. She actually has 249,000 followers on Instagram. She has her own Instagram page. She moderates that page. There are updated pictures about her life. Here she got actually delivered into her new condominium, 25 square meters, everything full of IKEA stuff. And now this story went for 72 hours. People could follow her online. People could follow her on all devices. The funny thing is that it even made a kind of a screen, and people can actually look into a window from the IKEA store and see her virtually acting, as you can see here, inside her home. So I think the benefits of this perfect campaign at hand. What real model can stay 72 hours in a small room? And also, how can you actually make sure that every movement fits to the marketing strategy? So this is probably the best way how to use a CGI influencer. But also there's another possibility here with a model called Shudu. It's also an Instagram model. She's completely virtual. She's used here especially for the hashtag melanin, which reflects on her skin color. And also it's a perfect example for to create a great personality for your campaign. Now, let's compare quickly the traditional influencer marketing versus CGI. So traditionally, the workflow is, I have a product, and I want to promote my product via another person, kind of organic. So I have to find the right influencer. I have to see if this influencer fits to my product. I have to see if the follower amount fits to my product. I have to see if the price is right. I have to see if the influencer can bring over the message. I have to brief the influencer, and then fingers crossed that he or she will promote my message to her followers in the right way. So many different steps. Now, why not use my own influencer? I can create the style, I can change the style. I don't have to do a brief, I can program it. So actually at the end of the day, I have full control about my influencer campaign. I can change this ad hoc, I can change the direction, I can change even the hair color at any time. And if a mistake occurs, I can press the stop button. But at the end of the day, there might be no mistakes because everything has been planned before. So in a nutshell, I save stress, I save time, and I save money in order to run a perfect campaign, and I can completely support that. I think it's a great way how to advertise products. And if you don't know how to run your own CGI-driven campaign, get in touch with our team. We are ready to support you here. The next channel goes a little bit into the same direction, and it's called AR, or Augmented Reality. So what is AR actually? It's a combination of 3 different touch points. It's a combination of real and virtual world, real-time interaction, and actually 3D or virtual objects flying into my real environment on my phone. So it's actually using existing real-world environment via a camera, for example, on your phone, but it puts the virtual information on top. AR on mobile phones has been on the market for more than 10 years. I remember I downloaded an app 10 years ago. I could look around, where am I, with street indications. But now we want to use it for advertising. Everybody wants to make some money on those channels. And the story started in 2000 with the first toolkit being created, but Volkswagen actually brought something very interesting up in 2013, an app called MARTA, Mobile Augmented Reality Technical Assistance. So obviously that is still not advertising, but we can see already the functionalities on the right side, because people could repair a car, people could do technical services on a car actually without the support of a technician, with a very simple virtual service manual. So that is the base of all AR-based activities today. And now we're seeing that this has been picked up by many industries, and the processes have been streamlined and aligned. Now Google in 2014 brought the Google Glass, which actually goes in the same direction. I can find everything that I'm looking for. Microsoft, a couple of years later, came back with another solution, and then everybody knows Pokemon. So Pokemon is AR without the advertising to a certain extent. But we all remember that people walking around, people looking for something that I couldn't see. So that is the combination of virtual and reality. Now, in terms of advertising, IKEA again is on top of the food chain here. So what happens here is that you can actually put certain IKEA products in your own room environment. So you have a camera, you make a picture, or actually you not even make a picture, you film your environment, and at the same time you place an IKEA product in order to see if the product matches from the color, matches from the style, etc., etc. Now the real estate industry has already picked up to that to a certain extent, because they're using virtual reality glasses in order to get a virtual tour of upcoming condominiums. However, AR is also now coming into play. Virtual tours are offered of constructing projects both inside and outside. Actually, you can walk your potential buyer through the whole project in real time with animated features. Now there's a company in Le Flair, I think they're not active anymore due to other reasons, but who had a very good idea a couple of years ago. They ran AR ads at that time that allowed you as a user to try sunglasses, lipstick, etc. on your own face. The results were outstanding at that time. There was a 10% lift in viewed content and actually almost a 20% lift in products placed into the cart. So I'm actually wondering why not many other brands pick that up, because it was very user-friendly and very effective at the time. Just in case you want to start slowly with that, you want to show your brand's personality, you want to create an AR filter, I strongly suggest to try it, because it's still a channel that is not matured yet. You will definitely stand out from your competitors, and it's always good for brand awareness. Now, we're going to ask ourselves how to do that. Here are 13 easy steps. So I will not walk you through the steps. We will actually send you this presentation later on, and you can go by yourself. This is an example for a Facebook campaign. You run that campaign, this AR campaign, by the Facebook ad manager. You upload a video, you have to put some effects on it, etc., etc. So please take a screenshot now or wait for the presentation to be sent to your inbox. Looking at the content side of things, we all know content marketing, but especially in difficult times like today, empathetic content marketing coming from the heart, talking directly to you, is definitely something that should be picked up, or that has been picked up already before. It creates at the end of the day an emotional connection. It's trust, relationship building between the brand and the client. It's not all about selling. It's all about connecting, relating, and staying in touch. So this idea is also not new. So more than 100 years ago, there was a very clever guy called John Deere who actually wanted to sell a technology at this time, a technology for farmers, but he didn't say buy my truck or buy something. He actually created kind of an editorial here that advised people how to use the technology and why it would be good to change from, let's say, handmade farming to tech farming. And with this article, he became very famous and actually became also very rich at the end of the day, because people appreciated this kind of approach. Now, this was when the story of content marketing started. Procter & Gamble in the 30s, actually, they booked some radio spots in order to promote their, let's say, cleaning products. This is also where the term soap opera came from, because they implemented it in a playful way. And in the 1990s, then the age of the internet started, and content marketing, the term, became a term actually in 1996, with Bill Gates saying content is king. Very clever guy. He said that 25 years ago. I heard it probably 10 or 15 years later. So he described actually the future as the internet as a marketplace for content, for providing content. And also in 98, then Microsoft actually incorporated their first content block. Now with social media and video, obviously this became much more aware in the markets. And then content marketing evolved, so actually now infographics, etc., are also part of content marketing. But we still talk about empathetic content marketing. So I want to reach some, let's say, deeper feelings of my audiences on different levels here. So today the world is green. I mean, unfortunately, it's not green, but people would like the world to be green and clean, sustainable, etc. So Lush is a company that produces their products on a purely natural way. You can even eat those cosmetic products. And as you can see here, there is no call to action in that video. There is no "we are the best," etc. It just shows the production from A to Z and highlights actually how it is made. So this is what we call empathetic content marketing. I'm actually talking more towards the feeling, and I'm satisfying the feeling of potential clients. Now our partner SAP also actually found a target group which they call the passionates. The passionates are the people who make purchases, decisions on decisions on socio-economic and environmental issues. So they care for the product, but they also care how the product was produced, where the product came from, who was involved, etc., etc. So as you can see here as well, they are using different people in order to promote those products, or better said, promote how everything has been produced here. And this Black Canvas campaign was a huge, huge success. Now, let me give you a very easy example of how to run an empathetic content marketing campaign. Actually, here right now, we're talking about an empathetic content marketing email campaign. So it's always good to identify your clients. You have to know who you're talking to, and also you have to customize the approach. Not every one of your audience needs the same approach. People have different needs, different concerns. So put your customer first and put yourself in the shoes of your clients. Now, content marketing or empathetic content marketing is a communication on the same level. I'm not talking up, down, buy, go, get. I'm consulting, I'm advising, I'm addressing current problems that my clients or audiences have. And most importantly, I give them advice how to bring them or how to go to the next step. So on the right side, you see two emails. One is the classic up to down advertising communication. You're one step away, get it now, register now, click here, all those call to actions that I wouldn't say put a pressure on the audience, but they definitely want to direct me or the recipient in a certain direction. Now that can work obviously, but sometimes it doesn't. So what is the alternative? Alternatively would be empathetic content marketing. Same level communication. I care for you. I know your problems. You're not registering because you have concerns. Can I help you to get rid of those concerns? Do you need assistance, etc.? So there is no real direct call to action here. It's more like showing understanding and showing the support and offering the support to bring the client at the end of the day to the next step where I want him to be. Now I would like to show you some creative work. It's all about display ads, but it's not about targeting, real-time bidding, programmatic. It's really about how to create a good display ad. So we call it display ads next gen. But to the history of display ads, the first display advertising was published in 1994. It was actually purchased or published, no, it was driven by AT&T, which is an American telecommunication company, and published on hotwire.com. Now, why do I show this old banner here? Because the click-through rate was 44%. So every second person clicked on the ad, which is amazing at that time, because today the click-through rate in a prospecting campaign is around 0.1%, maybe less. So at that time, display ads definitely worked, but also there were not many competitors on the market. Now, how can I make an impact today with a display ad? There's animations, of course, there are different kind of formats, of course, but look at this example here. We call it ad hijack image ad. So this actually, the picture that you see in the background, actually is a picture of an article. So I'm reading an article, and the ad, in this case Coca-Cola, hijacks the image in a very native way, because it's not completely hijacking everything, it's just adding there. And I think the animations are great here. So especially if you have an FMCG product or something that moves, it makes perfect sense, and it doesn't disrupt actually the, let's say, reading behavior of the reader. Actually, it fits, and I'm looking at it and I liked it. But from a performance point of view also, those next-gen ads more than double in terms of clicks or in terms of CTR. So it's definitely something good if you want to, let's say, reach out to more people, but also getting more clicks at the end of the day, also more sales. Now, in terms of posting, there's also something interesting here. You see this 3D next-gen post. So the campaign or the post is all about getting a free delivery on a Black Friday, 50% off, 24 hours delivery time, etc., etc. And as you can see on the right side, it makes sense to have an animation here because it's definitely an eye catcher. I want to look at it And also, I think the animation goes hand in hand with the message of the post. So it's a huge, huge advantage to have that implemented. And looking at the numbers, so more than double the amount of likes compared to a standard post, and 5 times more shares because of this, I would say, nice design of that post. Even I tend to share those kind of posts because they're very three-dimensional and obviously also very successful. Starting to talk a little bit about more, let's say, local channels, especially here for Vietnam. So we start with local SEO. So we all know SEO, search engine optimization. How can I get my website higher up the ranking without paying for it? Otherwise, I would use PPC. So local SEO is more for attracting customers in your local area. It's also in order to be found on local searches and improve your visibility on the Google platform. Now, if you optimize your website based on local SEO or with local SEO tactics, what are your initial benefits or advantages? So Google loves it if you take care of that. So they will definitely put you up in the ranking, but also your website traffic, and automatically hand in hand with this, your website traffic will increase exponentially. And besides all those online stats and online numbers, you will also get more, let's say, physical traffic, because people are also tempted to look on the street and to walk in directly to the store next door. So if you have a store, a physical store, local SEO will help you to increase the walk-ins and physical sales. So where do I start? Obviously, it's all about keyword research. So obviously, we need to, in Vietnam here, need to have Vietnamese people using the right terms, but also let's take all the slangs and phrases, local slangs and phrases into consideration, because we all have a, let's say, different kind of how to look, what words to use for our local SEO. And depending on the markets where you are, the habits of doing a local search also changes from country to country, from region to region. So you have to dive into your analytics a little bit and also find the right market to focus on, and then sync your keywords with your products on a local basis. Now, we talked before about the impact of local SEO on Google. So as we all know, Google changes the algorithms every 6 months, and local search has been already on the map and already is part of the big SEO picture. But I'm very sure that in the next couple of months or years, it will become more and more effective, more and more important. Same like 5 years ago with responsive design for mobile websites. I think now we're going to the local search thing being more important. So stay on top of your local SEO. Be now one of the first to optimize, and then get all the benefits and advantages of lucrative local searches in order to improve your SEO. So how do we start? So first of all, content. So SEO is obviously very related to content marketing. So the first advice would be to write local blogs, local news, local stories, promote local events and activities, and also maybe even create a local video in the language of the country where you're at. So localization of the language also is very important. So if you have the chance to maybe customize or translate your website into the local language, that will help you as well to get high quality local content. Now your keywords have to be relevant to the people close to you in the market. If you run a global campaign, obviously you cannot stick to certain regions. You have to actually base your keywords on the products. Now looking at local SEO, the challenge here is, okay, what does your audience look for? What terms do they use? What filters do I have to apply, etc. So Google actually supports you very well here. You can already identify this when you set up the Google campaign. But don't forget as well to include mentions of region-specific landmarks, hotspots, and don't forget the near me, where can I find, etc. terms that people might use also for typed local search. It always helps to also be part of a local online business directory, so you know there are a couple of players on the market. It's not only good for your business to be found on Foursquare or Yellow Pages, but also here Google is looking at those, let's say, activities that are going a little bit outside your website, and also this will help to boost your SEO. So if you list your company on one of those outlets, always include obviously your business name, address, phone number, backlink to the website, and also please put a thorough description of your business into this ad. Another channel that I would strongly suggest for everybody who wants to target Vietnamese people especially is Zalo. Zalo is an OTT messenger app, so it is the alternative to Line, WeChat, WhatsApp, but it's obviously purely used here in Vietnam. So the benefit of advertising or using Zalo for your marketing campaign is that you almost reach everybody who has a mobile phone. So currently the reach of Zalo is 60 million users here. And it's actually very easy to set up a Zalo marketing campaign in order to target your potential Vietnamese customers, or even people like me, an expat who lives in Vietnam and who uses that app. There are different ways actually how to advertise on Zalo. So first of all, it's advertising for your official Zalo account. So a little bit like a Facebook fan page, you can do an official Zalo account. If you run a campaign for this account, you obviously will increase the number of fans, the reach of your products, and also create some loyalty and engagement. However, my favorite is that your website is the center of your activities based on the different analytical features that I can get from it. So advertisingbrand.com website on Zalo makes a lot of sense. So the ad is being displayed on the timeline, and it will drive the traffic with one click to your website. So you automatically get more views, more brand awareness, more traffic, and also if you find the right product, if you set up the right targeting, everything will result in better sales. And the last option on Zalo is that you only purely advertise your product on Zalo. So here it's a campaign that is, for example, a dedicated flash campaign, dedicated ad hoc campaign, short-term campaign, that you can also show for a couple of days or even hours on the user's timeline in the network of Zalo in order to reach the right person at the right time with the right product and increase your sales exponentially. Also very famous here in Vietnam is the taxi company Grab, and Grab actually can be used in order to create good advertising and to sell your products. So here again, the local advantage is that you can actually get 50 million users in Vietnam. You can reach out to 50 million users in Vietnam. Everybody uses this app on a daily basis, and it's perfect actually to advertise not only in Vietnam but also outside your different kinds of services. So as you can see on the right side here, it's all localized, so it's very Vietnamese style. All kinds of products can be shown. Also here, scrolling through the app, you will see the right product for your needs. And at the end of the day, we will create views, awareness, website traffic, sales. The sale can be done within the app. The sale can be done with one click back to the website. It goes in the same direction, like I mentioned before with Zalo. Obviously here, the big advantage is the volume of your audiences and also the targeting that is possible. Now, one thing here is that if you have enough budget, you can actually streamline your offline campaign with your Grab online campaign by using a very old feature like a handout or something in a taxi. So this can work very well, and it combines both worlds, offline and online. In this example, it was Pepsi Cola who actually ran their campaign physically on the taxis and online on the app. Now, the world is not only Google. If I talk to my clients in Japan, they will talk about Yahoo. If I talk to my clients in Korea, where they will talk about Naver. There might be some clients who talk about Bing, but mostly people talk about Google when it comes to search engine or even display. But in Vietnam, we have something called Coco. So if you want to, let's say, run an alternative search campaign, you can use this Vietnamese search engine, which actually has a huge impact here with almost 4 million average daily users and 26 million pages viewed. It's obviously in Vietnamese, so you can reach your target audience. You can run that campaign next to your Google campaign. The features of Coco are very similar to Google. You can set up your account, your ad account, control your placements on CPM or CPC, can run, observe, and execute your campaign based on your target audience. And to be honest, if you want to run something on a local basis, yes, this is a search engine to take. My personal consideration would be to A/B split test my Google campaign versus my Coco campaign, and at the end of the day, take the winner here. But it's a great way to advertise your products if you're going for more native-based audiences. So this is the end of the official presentation. There will be a Q&A later on here, but already now I would like to thank you very much for your attendance. I hope you like the topics I picked for you, and I'll see you next time. Again, feel free to reach out to me on my email address, oliver.wilkie@sai-digital.com. I'm happy to support you with all your questions and hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.